Well, welcome to our update here during this National FFA week. What a great time to connect with our state officers. Breanna Hosman is with us from the North Dakota FFA. Breanna, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, let's talk about FFA week first of all. What kind of things are happening with you and your state officer team and across North Dakota?
Yeah, so a lot is happening this week, as most of you watching who know about FFA probably know. But in North Dakota specifically, and with our officer team, there's quite a few different things going on. We're starting off the week with some CDE contests. There's going to be a couple out west and some to the northwest. It's really, really great that we finally have the opportunity to have those events in person. We're super excited about that. We're doing it safe within COVID guidelines. And so all of us are really looking forward to having our members back in person and making those connections. A lot of chapters I know do home things. It's almost kind of like a homecoming week. People are getting so pumped and excited about the FFA. I know in my home chapter, we always had a school-wide dodgeball tournament, like classes versus classes. It was so cool. I always enjoyed doing that. It was just a great way to celebrate. A lot of chapters decorate their schools like you would for homecoming week. There's dress up days, just a lot of school and chapter spirit that goes on during FFA week. It's so special. And not only is there school spirit, but there's also a whole lot of community spirit that goes on with it. We always did like a community pancake feed. Some chapters do a pie social, an ice cream float social. They do community breakfast, or a lot of times they do service projects, and that actually ties in a lot with what my officer team is doing this year. We're rolling out a project called NDFFA Serves. That's going to get sent out in a package to all the chapters in North Dakota, and it's going to contain a poster on how to set up your service project, and it's just encouraging members to get involved in their community, especially through these tough COVID times. I know we've all been itching for something to do and something to do in person. And so our team thought that this would be a great thing to bring people together and to really get people moving on something. It's great because you can build your service project to your community and your own needs. So
the sense of giving back, it really is what FFA is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Living to serve is the third line in our motto. So it's crazy how amazing and fired up FFA members around the state can get for service projects. And I'm really hoping that this NDFFA Serves will foster that.
So. You mentioned COVID. All of our lives have been changed by this pandemic. What's it meant for you and your officer team? How has this changed your year?
It's changed it exponentially. We've had to do a lot of adapting, and I'll be honest, it's not easy. It's not easy. I hate to be fake with people and be like, oh no, it's just been we just have had to adapt. It's very tough on people emotionally. And that's something I've struggled to understand throughout COVID, is why people aren't real with each other and aren't yeah, we are struggling, because in sharing struggle, that's where I believe that progress can be made. I believe that working together through things like that is how you get through the bad times. And so my team and I have leaned on each other a lot through all of this, through missing national convention, through missing all the travel opportunities that we would normally have in a year. We've really leaned on each other for that support through the disappointment. And we've actually been able to make a lot of really positive things come out of that. We had our online Winter Leadership Conference recently, and that was a big success from the reactions from the kids. I think that everyone was just really happy to finally have something for FFA. It's been a lot of kind of idle, not really doing a whole bunch, but as restrictions are lifted and things go on, we've really as a team been having a lot of fun with doing online things and getting used to that. It's like a whole new world. You get through the struggle and you get through it together, and really it can make a lot of positivity. And I've really seen that within this year.
We're all social beings. We all want to connect with people, and it's so hard with, we're using technology today, but that's certainly it's important, but having that face-to-face connection is something we all miss. How do you engage with members? How do you keep the the FFA members out there, the chapters engaged with what's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had to do a lot of adaptation, as I was saying, like moving the Winter Leadership Conference online. That was a big moment where we got to interact with a lot of members. Myself and my teammates were able to facilitate the small group sessions for that conference, and that was really where we were able to connect with members like over Zoom through the Zoom chat. It's amazing how technology can bring us together, even though we have to be apart during these times. It's just really cool to see. And it's, even though it's way different, it's still like, we can still try our best to get it there. And I know two of my teammates, State Sentinel Jaden McDonald and State Secretary Caleb Hauk, went to the Napoleon CDE contest last weekend, and their reports to me was that they had a lot of really awesome member connections during that contest. So we're hoping as restrictions lift, we'll be able to get to do more of that member interaction. But so far what we've done is we've made videos for National Convention, like little hype videos to try and get kids excited about the online National Convention and that Winter Leadership Conference. Those were our two big things this year. And now with NDFFA serves, that'll be number 3.
Sounds like you've been forced to be more innovative.
Yes, definitely. It's been a struggle trying to think of ideas. It's difficult to try and move something so amazing like the National FFA organization that teaches soft skills, teaches leadership skills, teaches those in-person connection skills. To take something like that and to move it online is a very interesting process, but one that I think was fairly successful, but we're hoping to go back to normal as soon as possible.
We all hope. Obviously, a big part of your has to be planning the state convention. How is that coming together in this year of COVID?
As far as right now, we are having state convention in person. I am not too privy to the details. That's they do share.
Yeah.
I don't think the state office super knows either. And can you blame anyone? Like, things could change like in a second like that, and so we have to make multiple types of plans of how we're going to have state convention, or if we need to have it online, what are we going to do? If we're going to have it in person, how are we going to be safe about it? How are we going to spread kids out? And we're thinking right now on NDSU's campus, like we normally have it, that we will be able to spread kids out. We have multiple dorms that NDSU is kindly letting us use. And we were thinking about ticketing sessions so that only a certain number of kids can be in the field house at a time. And so we're making all sorts of plans, and depending on how the world looks at that time, we'll implement the one that fits the best. So
let's hope things are in shape that we can get everybody engaged as we'd like to. Tell me about your involvement in FFA. How did you get to where you are today? What made you join the organization to begin with?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story, actually. I was born in Chandler, Arizona, and I was a city girl my entire life. Like, I knew really nothing about the country, but my dad always fostered that kind of relationship with the outdoors with me. He would take me fishing, hunting, camping, all that stuff, wherever we could. And when my dad unfortunately lost his job, and so he needed a new one, and the oil field was booming in North Dakota at that time. And so he joined his brother up here and moved us all up here. And I got in with my friends in middle school, and they were talking to me about this awesome organization called the FFA, where they were watching magic shows at state convention, and it was so crazy, and all these kids were awesome. And I was like, this might be something that I would be interested in. And I was so nervous as an 8th grader. I could barely get up in front of my class and talk, but I still took that leap of faith and joined the FFA. And I have to say that was probably the best decision in my life up to this point. This organization has done so much for me. I went from like a super nervous little 8th grader to now having the privilege of serving as the state president of the North Dakota FFA. That's a huge jump, and I credit the FFA with that completely. It changed me as a person and has made me so much more capable, and I'm very confident about my soft skills going into the workforce eventually. And that's really what FFA is all about, is preparing you for that time when you will eventually enter the workforce in the career field of your choice and be successful. So that's, yeah, it's crazy looking back on that and thinking of how far I've come.
What's the future? Where are you going from here, Breanna?
Yeah, I'm currently attending North Dakota State University for agricultural education. My ag teacher said to me, and I still remember, I was coaching my agronomy team, and he walked up to me during a practice and he was like, you know, Breanna, you would be a really good ag ed teacher. And that's when it clicked with me. I was like, oh yeah, I actually would really like that. And so I've been going to school for that, and I've enjoyed all my classes, really haven't questioned my major at all. So I'm so excited to serve now the students as an FFA officer, but to eventually serve them yet again as an FFA advisor. I think that's one of the most noble tasks out there. For all of you teachers watching this right now, I just want to extend my thanks to you. You are so much more than just a teacher. You are a stand-in parent. You are a friend. You are a confidant. Teachers are so much more than just the curriculum they teach. So I just wanted to take a minute and thank all of you for your wonderful careers and the work you do every single day.
Wow, what a great message. They serve as mentors and role models for all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
FFA week, great time. Any final thoughts you want to leave folks with, Breanna?
Yeah, absolutely. If any of you watching, parents, teachers, have FFA members, really encourage them to go all in this week, get involved with your chapter activities, get excited. This is supposed to be a celebration of the FFA and all the wonderful things that it does for people and the places that it takes people. I've seen it time and time again, not only with myself, but with my teammates, with other FFA members. I've seen it in my home chapter. The FFA is such a special organization, and so to have this week to celebrate it is just so wonderful. And I just encourage all of you to get involved, get excited, and get out there and support your chapters. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm glad we had this chance to connect. I know everybody's busy, but we hope everybody has a good time and get engaged during this National FFA week. Breanna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Breanna Hosman is with us, State President, North Dakota FFA from the Hebron FFA chapter. That's her home chapter, and we appreciate her being with us here this morning as we celebrate National FFA Week.